Hey everybody, welcome to Mind Blown. Today, we're going to go over the 4 major types of personalities. Make sure to watch until the end, because you'll get to know each personality type and how to deal with them. Humans grow in communities highlighting shared values, so it is little a surprise that humans will also end up sharing behavior patterns. Research teams have examined these massive data sets from 1.5 million people, using a standard clustering algorithm. While previous studies raised questions about the validity of personality types, researchers generally agree that these traits, known as the Big Five, are reliable and replicable domains of human personality. In psychology, there are 5 higher-order and widely accepted personality traits: neuroticism, extraversion, openness, agreeableness, and conscientiousness. The researchers used these personality traits to help cluster their findings and better understand the 4 personality types. Neuroticism. Individuals who score high on neuroticism are more likely than average to be moody and experience such feelings as anxiety, worry, fear, anger, frustration, envy, jealousy, guilt, depressed mood, and loneliness. High-scoring individuals tend to be awkward, pessimistic, fearful, self-critical, unconfident, insecure, and oversensitive. Low-scoring individuals tend to be confident, sure of themselves, brave, and unencumbered by worry. Extraversion. Individuals who score high in extraversion are more likely to be outgoing, social, and attention-centered. They enjoy being with people, participating in social gatherings, and are full of energy. A person low in extraversion is less outgoing and is more comfortable working alone. High-scoring individuals tend to be friendly, assertive, merry, energetic, articulate, affectionate, and socially confident. Low-scoring individuals tend to be shy, introspective, thoughtful, and overall reserved with self-expression. Openness. Individuals who score high in openness are typically very intellectually curious and exhibit high emotional intelligence. Openness involves 6 dimensions: well-rounded, active imagination, aesthetic sensitivity, attentiveness to inner feelings, preference for variety, and intellectual curiosity. High-scoring individuals tend to be original, daring, clever, insightful, curious, intellectual, and complex and profound. Low-scoring individuals tend to be routine-based, less abstract, and stick with what they know and are comfortable with. Agreeableness. Individuals who score high in agreeableness are typically well-tempered and tend to err on the side of compassion and empathy over suspicion, cynicism. It is also a measure of one's trusting and helpful nature, and whether a person is generally well-tempered or not. High agreeableness is often seen as naive or submissive. Individuals with low agreeableness are often competitive or challenging people who can be argumentative or untrustworthy. High-scoring individuals tend to be generous, trusting, patient, diplomatic, sensitive, unselfish, well-liked, and respected. Low-scoring individuals tend to be insensitive, rude, ill-tempered, sarcastic, antagonistic. Conscientiousness. Individuals who score high in conscientiousness are typically very efficient and organized. They tend to be dependable, show self-discipline, act dutifully, aim for achievement, and prefer planned rather than spontaneous behavior. High conscientiousness is often perceived as being stubborn and focused. Low conscientiousness is associated with flexibility and spontaneity, but can also appear as sloppiness and lack of reliability. High-scoring individuals tend to be leaders, energetic, reliable, ambitious, persistent, hardworking, and resourceful. Low-scoring individuals tend to be procrastinators, impulsive, headstrong, and hasty, reckless with decisions. These traits can be plotted in 4 major personality types depending on how much of these traits prevail in a person's behavior. These are the personality types: average, reserved, self-centered, and role model. 1. Average. The average type is called average for a reason. There is very little to say about average, so it's not surprising that most people fit into this cluster, while still scoring a bit higher in terms of neuroticism and extraversion than in agreeableness and conscientiousness. Ordinary people, fittingly, are characterized by an average score in all traits. There are slightly more women who are average than there are men. Most common personality type: high in neuroticism and extraversion, tending to be more friendly, assertive, pessimistic, and oversensitive. Low in openness, tending to be more routine-based and less open to abstraction. Tend to seek attention, but are not overly intellectually curious, more likely to be female than male. Here are common characteristics of average people. Average people waste time. Average people are always finding ways to get out of work. They usually hang out day in and day out. Average people are always broke. They don't have a savings account, and they spend a lot of money. Average people talk more than they act. These people have goals, but usually sit around their entire lives with their hands out, waiting and doing less. Average people focus on the past. Ordinary people dwell on their past most of the time. They allow their past to ruin their present. Average people think inside the box. The average person will jump in it like a cat or toddler to play and begin thinking completely within said box. They don't shake their heads at the absurdity of the scene. Average people have unfinished projects. The average person constantly starts something new and wants to explore it until things get complicated. Once the going gets tough, the average fluff loses their gruff, while the tough get rough. Average people choose average lives. They don't put so much into work. They don't make decisions to bring themselves toward that thriving life. 2. Reserved. Those who are reserved are not very neurotic, but aren't very open either. They are at least emotionally stable, so kudos for that. Reserved is a neutral trait that can apply to any demographic. Agreeable and conscientious, a reserved individual is probably a good person to have around. While they're not necessarily shy, reserved people prefer to keep to themselves, unless a topic arises that is truly important to them. They are deep thinkers and prefer to listen to other people communicate in groups, instead of putting themselves out there and opening up to a larger crowd. They enjoy having deeper conversations with one or two close friends. Why are you reserved? There are many possible reasons you could be reserved, and none of them need to be negative. Being reserved might be part of your introverted personality type. Maybe you are reserved because you don't want to complicate things in your life. If you are reserved, it means you have a high sense of self-awareness, and you just don't give people much of an opportunity to judge or label you. Your independence allows you to make your decisions without consulting other people for their opinions, which can naturally lead you to become reserved. Reserved personality traits: calm and composed, self-contained, quiet, restrained, introspective, circumspect, balanced, self-sufficient, emotionally stable. Best ways to thrive with a reserved personality? Embrace your personality type. If you live authentically and embrace your more restrained demeanor, you'll enjoy more growth, success, and opportunities in life. You can focus more on your work and close relationships than trying to be someone you're not. Don't compare yourself to others. Instead of measuring your success against other people's, compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. This practice helps you remain focused on your personal and professional achievements. Focus on your strengths. Because you are reserved, you're able to quickly absorb information, observe group dynamics, and notice key things that others may miss. Speak up. When you have something to say, push yourself to say it. Once you start speaking, you will likely be pleased with the reaction you get from other people. Maintain a positive attitude. Acknowledge what you find especially difficult and adopt a growth mindset to recognize that you can overcome any hurdles and learn from mistakes. Play the game. It simply requires that you learn flexibility. Just aim to show different parts of your personality to different people to relate to them better, and try to adapt your conversation and approach by observing others. Here are some thoughts on dealing with a reserved person. Don't assume they don't have opinions or feelings if they don't speak up. Invite them to share their thoughts. Give them time to carefully consider what they want to say if they need it. You'll get a more fulsome reply if you do. Recognize that their reserved nature doesn't mean they don't like you or want to spend time with you. They do. Understand how powerful they can be during emotionally fraught or stressful times, since they can maintain their calm and poise. During the conversation, bypass the small talk and try to connect through deep and meaningful discourse. Avoid probing too deeply into their personal lives unless you get an invitation to do so. Remember, they are self-sufficient and don't frequently want or need advice or input. 3. Self-centered. Self-centered people score very high in extraversion and below average in openness, agreeableness, and conscientiousness. These are people you don't want to hang out with. There is a very dramatic increase in self-centered types as people age, both with men and women. Self-centered people are not easy to spot. They are capable of being personable and kind upon meeting new people. Those who are self-centered know they are on some level and are usually aware of how unappealing the quality is. Dealing with self-centered people can be very difficult and frustrating, especially if you are in a serious relationship with them. Self-centered people tend to mistreat people because they view their partners as nothing more than objects in place to feed them emotionally. Self-centered personality traits: putting themselves first, only caring about their needs and wants, being unable to see another's perspective, being uncaring of others, lying or manipulating to get their way or make things work out in a way that favors them. When dealing with a self-centered person, keep a few things in mind. Don't try to change them. Individuals with this disorder rarely think they have a problem until they are on the verge of losing everything. Even then, their primary focus may be to maintain their behavior rather than get to the root of their problem. Don't play their game. Stay true to yourself and don't ever partake in behavior that is beneath you. It will inevitably become tough to be kind to a self-centered person who is unkind to you. Still, you can alleviate any feelings of anger by focusing on the person you are and continuing to like that person. Remain realistic. If you struggle with low self-esteem, being around someone who seems confident may give you a temporary boost. In the long run, however, you are better off attending to the causes of your low self-image, even if it means a period of loneliness. If you think you may be self-centered or selfish, or if you have a loved one who is, therapy is often recommended so that you or your loved one can learn to form happy, healthy relationships. 4. Role model. In this study, people with the role model personality are described as friendly, agreeable, and open-minded. They listen to new ideas and are reliable. As the name suggests, a role model is someone who you'd like as a role model, dependable, and interested in new ideas. Women are more likely to be role models than men. These people are natural leaders with low levels of neuroticism and high levels of agreeableness, extraversion, openness, and conscientiousness. Role models possess the qualities that we would like to have and those who have affected us to make us want to be better people. They help us advocate for ourselves and take a leadership position on the issues we believe in. Role model personality traits. They demonstrate confidence and leadership. They are always positive, calm, and confident in themselves. They don't want someone who is down or tries to bring you down. They are not afraid to be unique. Whatever they choose to do with their life, they are proud of the person they've become, even if it means accepting some ridicule. They communicate and interact with everyone. They know they have to have a consistent message and business plan and repeat it repeatedly until everyone understands. Show respect and concern for others. They may be driven, successful, and intelligent, but they choose to show respect and concern for others. Be knowledgeable and well-rounded. They are constant learners, challenge themselves to get out of their comfort zones, and surround themselves with more intelligent people. Have humility and willingness to admit mistakes. When they make a wrong decision, they let those watching and learning from them know that they made a mistake and how they plan to correct it. Do good things outside the job. They find time for good causes outside of work, such as raising money for charity, saving lives, and helping people in need. It is popularly said that every person is different. We are all unique in our similarities. Biologically speaking, the statement is correct. No two human DNA are the same, as everyone is born with slightly given changes in our code. Differences are enough to distinguish ourselves from any other resemblance individual. Yet, at the same time, we can't fight that feeling of recognizing each other, to feel that we are all somehow linked by invisible strings that tie us and define our personal growth. When we look at large groups of people, it's clear that some people may change some of these characteristics over time, which could be a subject of future research. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.